dietitian, I constantly get asked, what should I eat to lose weight? And now that my belly fat video went viral, now I'm being asked, what do I eat to lose belly fat? So today I'm dishing on my top 5 picks in terms of food that really support you to help lose that belly fat based on the science that I shared in my belly fat video. Definitely stay until the end because I'm going to be sharing about a food that is not on my top 5 list, but still super important, and it is the punchline of my entire video. So I'm not going to give it away, but it's going to be worth it for you to stick around. May here, I'm a functional medicine dietitian. I absolutely love helping men and women over 40 look and feel their best by optimizing their metabolism, hormones, and health span. This is the channel to be watching if you want the latest science and strategies on how to look and feel your best after 40. Definitely, if you haven't done this already, download my must-have food guide on boosting your metabolism down below. Oh, before I get into my list, I want to do a disclaimer quickly by saying if any of the foods I mention cause you gut distress, you know you're sensitive to, or every time you think of that food it makes you want to gag, definitely pick an alternative food that's maybe in the same family and work with your local dietitian to really hammer out the specifics for you based on your goals, your preferences, and unique factors that are definitely unique to you. All right, so the first food that really can support you on your belly fat loss journey are chia seeds. I know. You probably heard about chia seeds back in the day when chia pets were all the rage, but chia seeds are actually a cousin of the flaxseed. The reason why chia seeds are so helpful in helping you lose belly fat is that they're chock full of fermentable fibers that help you produce something called butyrate. Now, butyrate is a type of short-chain fatty acid. I have mentioned it in other videos before. Turns out this short-chain fatty acid is really important for helping fuel the cells that line your gut. They also send signals to your brain and the rest of your body related to blood sugar, related to satiety, also related to energy utilization. They're super critical for metabolism. I definitely check butyrate on a lot of my patients who do stool testing with me, and I can tell you a ton of people come back with low butyrate levels. Chia seeds, by the way, are also a good source of omega-3, which is anti-inflammatory for the body. And we know that belly fat is just super inflammatory fat that is in the wrong part of our body. Super, super inflammatory. So we gotta fight fire with fire. We gotta fight inflammation by eating anti-inflammatory foods. And chia seeds are definitely on the top of that list too. Lastly, and this is the most exciting, is chia seeds are super helpful for improving blood sugars. And like I said in my belly fat video, this midsection weight is a big sign that you are on your way to diabetes unless you do something about it. So blood sugars are the name of the game for a majority of people who have belly fat. In the studies, they found that chia seeds helped to lower how much our glucose spiked after meals, and we call that a postprandial glucose lowering effect. Now, this was present at doses about 3 tablespoons a day, and so that is the effective dose I'm recommending. And definitely, if you're one of those people that's like, can't I just eat flax seeds? Well, it turns out when there was a head-to-head comparison between chia seeds and flax seeds, chia seeds won when it came to lowering the glucose spike after meals, also when it came to helping with satiety, which is how satisfied you are from eating, and chia seeds slowed the rate of glucose peaking. So overall, if you had to choose between chia or flax, chia wins every time. Also, flax seeds need to be ground up so that you can access the omega-3s in them. Chia seeds do not. So chia seeds are annoyingly very gelatinous. They definitely get stuck in between your teeth and they take time to gel up. And so getting them to be tasty is an important factor of you incorporating this into your life. You can add chia seed to smoothies, puddings, soups, salads. You can even make them into jam, and there is also chia seed flour products out there where you can start baking with chia seeds. Now, there are companies out there like Mama Chia where they make squeezable packets, almost like gel. Unfortunately, those packets are very tasty and they do have 7 grams of sugar per pouch. If you're gonna do something like a pre-made product, I would get like the Mama Chia chia seed pudding mixes. And at the end of the day, it's super easy to make your own chia seed pudding. I made a breakfast video where I talked about incorporating chia seed pudding into breakfast and adding protein powder or protein bars, nuts, and fruit to make those more exciting. Definitely go check out that video after this. So this time, instead of giving you a prompt, I'm linking below my ChatGPT prompt to give you a couple different recipes and ideas of how to incorporate chia seed into your life. And that includes 3 baking recipes that already use my approved sweeteners of choice, which are stevia, monk fruit, and allulose. So go to town on those recipes down below. Again, I didn't create them, it's chat. So I want to hear comments on which ones you tried, which ones you liked, how did you make it better? The second category of foods that can really help you lose belly fat are teas and spices. Specifically, the ones that I picked here have a ton of polyphenols in them. Now, these are plant compounds that the plant makes in response to some outside stressor. And so they're called secondary metabolites. They're not necessary for the plant to survive, but they do give an additional benefit to the plant. And when we eat these polyphenols, we get benefits too. We absorb them into our bloodstream, but some of it also gets absorbed into our gut. And it helps to encourage the growth of good bacteria. Like I said in my belly fat video, helping turn on our master weight loss regulator, our gut microbiome, is a secret weapon for losing belly fat. So anything that feeds them and helps them thrive is going to help you lose that belly fat. So which teas and spices made my list? Here we go. Yerba mate, green tea, rooibos, coffee, chocolate, cinnamon, and turmeric. You can throw cayenne pepper in there too, but remember that's a nightshade. So if you have issues with nightshades or you have any kind of gut issues where spice causes heartburn, don't go there. But the rest of them are on the table. I'm not pulling your arm. Each one of these have research backing up the fact that they improve the gut microbiome profile for helping your metabolism. They also have anti-inflammatory benefits, which I mentioned earlier are super important to reduce belly fat. And some of these even have natural tendencies to help us lose weight, similar to the pathways that are activated with medications like Ozempic. So you could kind of call them like nature's Ozempic, which is really cool. If you want to know how I incorporate all of these teas and spices into my daily routine, let me know down below so I can make that video for you. By the way, for those of you who don't know what rooibos is, it is a African redbush tea. It is naturally caffeine free and technically falls into the category of herbal teas versus true teas. Rooibos has a unique polyphenol that isn't found anywhere else called aspalathin, and it's been shown to help reduce stress hormones. Now, this is something that I assume people know, but stress hormones can obviously disrupt our hunger hormones and also disrupt our fat utilization so that we store more fat in our midsection. So anything that reduces stress is going to help reduce belly fat. I can't help but share my favorite rooibos product that I use most afternoons, and it's by a company called Red Espresso. This product is thicker and more rich than traditional rooibos teas. You could even brew it in an espresso machine and literally make latte art on it. I like to make mine in a French press, add hot almond milk and some allulose, and it is the most delicious, decadent treat in the afternoon. I often have clients who need to wean off coffee, whether it's because of sleep issues or adrenal issues, and I oftentimes recommend them to try Red Espresso Rooibos because it has such a full body rich flavor similar to coffee. So I'll link them down below, go check it out. And avoid the latte mixes, they do have sugar in them. Go with the pure Nespresso pods or the pure shredded Rooibos espresso. I go through bags of this stuff all by myself. The third food that I'd recommend for helping you lose belly fat is, no surprise, allulose. Allulose I mentioned in my belly fat video for those of you that stuck around till the very end, and some people mistake it for being an artificial sweetener or a sugar alcohol. Actually, allulose is a naturally occurring rare sugar found in fruits like figs. Rat studies have showed that allulose can decrease food intake for up to 6 hours after ingestion, and the effective dose was about 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. Again, I want to caution us here that this is only rat studies, but a lot of doctors and friends in my circles are already using allulose to wean people off of weight loss drugs like semaglutides because they have similar effects. So again, I don't want to say it's 100% something everyone should try, but I would say it's less harmful than trying a lot of other things. So now allulose can cause some GI upset or diarrhea in certain individuals, so always start slow and work your way up. Oh, another complaint I get about allulose is that it's made from corn. A lot of things are made from corn, so is xylitol, but you can find non-GMO brands out there. The one I really do like right now is something called RX Sugar. I also really like Protein bars that are sweetened with allulose, and all the ones made from Designs for Health are also allulose based. So I'll link both those companies down below. By the way, if you're shopping for a good protein bar, go watch my protein bar video. It really can help you make the right decisions. From here on out, I teach you all about how to read labels, what ingredients to look for. Go check that out. Just to give you some calculations, a 150-pound person would be eating about 7 tablespoons of allulose to get the effective dose of what was shown in those rat studies. That might seem like a lot of sugar, but the average American, this includes kids, teenagers, and adults in America, eats about 17 teaspoons of sugar a day. That's the average. There are people way over that. And that equates to about 5.7 tablespoons of sugar. So in theory, 7 tablespoons is not that far off. I would say if we replaced all the sugar in your diet with allulose, we'd be pretty darn close to possibly that 1 gram per kilogram. Now, again, you could take allulose like a supplement, and there are people doing that. But I would say displacing the sugar in your diet currently with allulose is a pretty smart idea. Next on my list, number 4, the food that can help support you on your weight loss journey in the belly fat world is asparagus. So asparagus is an amazing prebiotic. It also has polyphenols in it. And prebiotics, by the way, are fibers that help to feed your gut bacteria. So what makes asparagus so smelly in your pee? It is the sulfur compounds that your body is detoxing. And anything that has sulfur in it is really good for your liver. Like I said in my Ozempic video about the 5 top mistakes people make when they're on Ozempic, detoxing is a super critical part of weight loss and belly fat especially. So if you want to be eating detoxing foods for your liver, definitely think of asparagus being on the top of that list alongside onions and garlic and cabbage. What's super interesting too is that because it supports liver enzymes working better, people actually use asparagus to improve hangovers. Now, that doesn't mean if you're a lightweight like me or a cheap date that you can use asparagus to improve your tolerance. Quick story is Chateau Margaux, a really expensive winery in France, came to the spa and I had to give dinner nutrition commentary alongside their sommelier. And I was peer pressured for the first time by my boss and some colleagues to drink some of the wine because literally a bottle of that wine was equivalent to my salary, if not more at the time. So I had 2 sips and had to stay an extra 2 hours at work to be able to drive home. Now, in my case, I don't make alcohol dehydrogenase at all. So no amount of asparagus is going to help me overcome my alcohol intolerance. So for those of you that fall in that category, don't even try. Anyhow, back to belly fat and asparagus. Asparagus also falls into that nature's Ozempic type of food category. We talked about teas and spices, but in terms of foods, asparagus, onions, avocado, bananas, artichoke, apples, and Jerusalem artichokes, also known as sunchokes, all fall in that category. So again, I'm not saying those are at drug level effect, but if you can incorporate all of these foods into your diet, the more the better, in my opinion, for losing that belly fat. My favorite way to use asparagus is to cut it up into stir fries, incorporate it into a frittata, grill it or bake it. Just want to make sure not to overcook it because then it gets really stringy and mushy and kind of gross. My 5th and final food to help you lose belly fat are smelly fish like salmon and sardines. Now, not only are these fish cleaner because they're lower in mercury, they're also a huge source of omega-3s, which I mentioned again earlier, super anti-inflammatory, and these healthy fats help keep us fuller longer too. I did mention how important protein is in this whole weight loss journey and in terms of satiety. So making these healthy fish a part of your protein intake, I think is super strategic. Unfortunately, most of the sardines in the market are in cans, and even if they're BPA free, there are some studies that show that these cans could potentially be leaching some metals into the sardines or the oil in the can. So I know this is one of those conversations where like, what's clean anymore? But there are companies that do sell sardines in glass jars. I'll link one below that you can find on Amazon. But if you live anywhere near an Asian supermarket that has an extensive seafood area, I would always always go there to see if you can find fresh or frozen sardines. Yes, it feels a little bit more like closer to home because they have their heads on, but to be honest, it's probably cheaper that way, fresher that way. And, if you're grossed out, you can ask them to chop the heads off. My favorite way to eat sardines is smashing it up with hummus or avocado mayo and eating them with flax crackers or stuffing it into a bell pepper, something crunchy. The last and final bonus food I want to talk about with losing belly fat is a carrot. Why? Because you can dangle it on the end of a stick in front of your treadmill. Just kidding. Don't get me wrong, I love carrots. They actually are way better for you raw than cooked when it comes from a blood sugar standpoint. But the reason why I bring up this point, twofold. Never, ever, ever use a carrot on the end of a stick, i.e. rewarding yourself with food when it comes to exercising. I mentioned this in my Ozempic video again about common mistakes people make, but this is no exception. Do not abuse any food and use it as reward, even healthy food, like the ones on this list. So for instance, if you made like amazing chia seed muffins and that was like the carrot on the stick for you to get through your day and exercise and eat right, and then you're overdosing on these muffins at the end of the day, not a good idea, because in the wiring of our brain, now we're equating reward with food. And that's a really slippery slope because it gets us into overeating and not following our hunger cues. So make the reward for exercise or being really good on top of all of your health habits, make that reward not food-based. Make it a manicure. Make it an Amazon wishlist item. Make it a girl's night out. Whatever it is for you that makes you really, really happy. For me, it's like a hot bubble bath with some Epsom salts and a date night with my husband where we get to walk on the beach. I mean, those are good enough incentives. So find out whatever it is for you that would be an incentive outside of food. Secondly, I bring up this carrot on a stick to make you laugh because we do know one of the hormones that really helps us with weight loss that not a lot of people talk about is oxytocin, the happy love hormone. We know that it is counterbalancing to cortisol. So whenever we have a lot of oxytocin on board, we are lowering the stress hormones in our life, getting us more into that parasympathetic nervous system state, which is so beneficial for weight loss and so necessary for mental health. So, punchline, a really good belly laugh really helps to get rid of belly fat because it raises oxytocin. So the more you can get your belly laugh on, the better it is for your belly fat. Also, being in a state of humor and gratitude before, during, and after eating all the foods that I just mentioned is going to help support your body get more nutrition out of the food you ate, less inflammation from indigestion, and help you feel more satisfied sooner. So it's really like the secret weapon on top of all of these foods. I was going to tell some funny jokes to get you to laugh, but then I tried them out on my family and I didn't quite get the reaction I was looking for. So I'm going to stick to being a dietitian and not a comedian today, but figure out what helps you laugh. I know in my family, making fun of everyday things and interpreting them in a humorous way really helps. Also, a really good Nerf war, as long as we clean up and no one gets hurt. So I want to hear from you. What are some things that give you and your family that good, jolly laugh that really you can incorporate more into your life? Bring it all home with a visual. I included a GIF I made of me laughing with my full belly the day that I came home with baby number 3. And the reason why I give this visual is I want you to embrace your belly until it's gone because it paints a picture of the journey you've been on, good or bad. And you are still the one in the driver's seat deciding where the journey goes. So don't hate the belly, just know it's part of the journey and you are on your way to making your body look and feel better. Some of you have been on amazing journeys that are success stories that our community needs to hear. So please share with us your success stories down below on what you did to lose the belly fat for yourself that was sustainable and enjoyable. All right, so there you have it, my top 5 foods plus a really good bonus. I hope this video was super supportive for you and please let me know down in the comments if there's any other videos you want me to make. Till next time, I'll see you soon.